Howdy folks, Grok the DuckFarmer here, and I'm playing Feed the Beast Evolution on the FTOG server, and it's time to get into immersive engineering, which means, of course, obviously, I need a new island for immersive engineering. A lot of the machines, the multi-block machines that it uses are quite big, and so I've got this island here, and these little bits of dirt standing here on the top, well, I guess it's grass now that's it's spread, that's the inside of a 2x2 chunk area. So that's what's going to be my immersive engineering building. And because they have multi-block machines, I want to keep them all together. I don't think I need that much space. Probably I just need like a 2x1 chunk. But I'm going to sit there and make a big old base here because I want to play with something. Now, when I make this base, I'm going to make the walls and the floor and all that, but I'm going to leave the roof off because down there's my Rube Goldberg setup with a Create, and I really liked those chain conveyors. And I would like to, with the immersive engineering, I would like to use those chain conveyors to actually move the items that are being produced. I think that would be fun to do. So it's not going to be 100% immersive engineering. It's going to be immersive engineering and Create. And that means I'm going to need packagers and the what is it, the package Frogport. Let's see, we got chain conveyors, the repackager, maybe also packagers. Yeah, I should add that on there. Packagers and repackagers, and the package Frogport. Because the one of the fun things with this is you've got this chain conveyor. You can hook the Frogport to it, and you can actually have it send packages of items to it, which I think is really cool. And it's smart enough to know where those things need to go. It's based off of naming that you can do. And this is going to show how you can have another Frogport receiving the stuff on the other end, which I think is really cool tech. Plus, it's visual as all get out. So, have I played with these Frogports before? No. It's new to the latest version of Create, and I want to play with that. I really want to play with that. So down there, I wanted the chain conveyors as a way of doing power, and then all the Rube Goldberg-y sort of setup of just moving stuff back and forth and pitching them up and down. I just find that fun. Anyway, so I need to sit there and change this. I did set up a travel anchor here, and I've got it set up using this aluminum scaffolding. So I can, zip back and forth up here, because do I want to fly all over there? No, not when I can teleport with these travel anchors. All right, so I got to build me a base. So the bottom of the island is done, and that always makes me feel good. And speaking of islands, nobody mentioned that my stable island over there was just a platform. I had forgotten to put anything below it. I hadn't noticed until I was flying underneath doing stuff, and then all of a sudden I went, "Hey, lazy past Grok, why didn't you do that?" I've also gone ahead and thrown up a shell here, the beginning parts of a building. I decided to go very odd with this as opposed to the common even. And if I had 2x2 chunks, that would be 32 by 32. So I trimmed off a layer, so it's 31 by 31. Makes me feel much better. And that gives me the nice ability to have like 5, 1, 5, 1, 5, 1. That it I like that regularity in there. And then because this is immersive engineering, I'm leaning in. We've got aluminum scaffolding. I have lots of aluminum. I can do that. And I do like this dark contrast with very light aluminum. I do have stone down here of various types. That adds another little contrast to this. We've got light stone, and then we've got very dark. I do like the kiwi. It's just very dark. And this smooth texture here, it's so good. This glowing void stone from Eternal Starlight, this actually provides some light. Not that the void world needs it. Oh, hey, it's raining out in the overworld, and I don't care because light doesn't matter here. But I do like building light into my buildings just because it looks better. And also this kind of is the ask the or actually answers the question of, hey Grok, how do you think? Poorly. Thank you very much. Yeah, the basic way is I like having a basement, and in everything that I've done in this pack so far, I've had a basement of 3 tall. I've done 2, I've done 1. I really like 3. It gives a nice height, temporary stairs. It gives me a nice height to work from, and then I also decided that I think I'll have this building kind of go in just a little bit. I think this will be the walls. So, because flat can quite often be very boring in Minecraft, and so having some differences, that's why I have this little piece out here, you know, kind of holding up this area. That's how my brain is working. And again, how does my brain work? Poorly, indeed. So, this is 11 tall, and I'm because again, I like odds. I think that I may put a top on that, which would technically be a 12th, but that's a roof and doesn't count. Uh, and it may go in, but again, I don't know what I'm going to do. I have an idea, something to do with the walls that I need to play with. And I did decide to kind of off center the entranceway just to not be very symmetrical. And now you got to figure out what to do with the walls. And I'm kind of I I'm I'm not sure. I need to, look for inspiration because my brain is working poorly. How does my brain work? Poorly, because this is one hot mess. There's a few things I do like about this, and other stuff that I'm not fond. What I ended up doing was I put a block here and went up 11, and then added top, so that's 12. And you can see there's in that corner and that corner, but over here I put it here. It was in a block, and I didn't notice that until I brought it over, and then I went, "Oh, that's 2 layers." That means it's not flat. Okay, I really like that. And that way I could have something like this funky diagonal piece going on here with stuff behind it. I like that. We've got, stuff in the back row and then this little frame. I like that. I like the color scheme of going with grays and blacks, and I've got the purple and the magenta and the pink. But this layout is just mm. It's a hot mess. But me and doing modern, it just nah, it just doesn't work. Stone and wood all day long. Yes, I'll do that. So I'm gonna tear this down. I like that frame, the indent and the 2 layers there. I do like that, but I need to rethink these diagonal lines. I do like the framed blocks. I can do some fun things with that. This is not it. Now, is this it? No. But it's better than the last one. It's a big box. However, it's not flat for the walls, and so that makes me happy. It's got some diagonals in there. That makes me happy. It's got glass that I can look through and see the stuff running in the background. That makes me happy. It's yeah. I have a vision of what I would like, and this is not it. But that's okay. At least I've got the stuff in place. So I went ahead and brought over my immersive engineering stuff, which was this. I did have these 2 bits here, and I had some of these storage crates that I'd looted off. I thought they contained stuff, but they were empty. Maybe as when they got stored, they got empty. Anyway, I did make this coke oven. It's currently cooking up blocks of coal, and I have a jumbo tank here for the creosote, so it just automatically exports it out. That way, I can get at the creosote for making treated wood. So there's that bit here. We've got over here at the blast furnace. Well, this is the improved blast furnace. You can take the regular blast furnace bricks, and you can add a hopper at the top, and then you can make this improved one. And then with these preheaters, it can speed stuff up. So that's part of the questy stuff. I went ahead and made these metal presses. I made 4 of them because they can make plates, gears, rods, and wires. And yes, I'll get to everything else in here. And my standard way I like making these conveyor belts are part of the metal press process, but I like making this the dropping conveyor belt just because it puts the chest down low, and anything that comes through drops down into it into this case, I've got a whole bunch of these ender chests just because retrieving these, I said, let's make life easy. And then leaning into create, because I've been doing that, been using these andesite funnels to drop items down. And since most of these come through one at a time, these plain andesite cheap funnels work just fine. For the gear, however, you need 4 at a time. And so I'm using the brass funnel over here, and it's hard to see. Hey, it's hard to see, but I've got this set up for 4 ingots at a time because this needs that to drop to sit there and stamp out a gear. And the way these are set up, and I like these will drop 1 item. And if the hopper here, this not hopper, this conveyor belt, if it can accept the item, it instantly falls onto the item and becomes a flat item instead of sitting out in the world. And then this will drop another item. And if this isn't moving, say I had a lever here that's turning this off, there would be 1 item here and 1 item in the world hanging above it. If I were to use the conveyor belt that has an extractor on it, it would pull everything out of the chest and drop them all here. Stacks and stacks and stacks, which is a bad idea. I don't like it. The reason why I have the brass one, because it drops, these andesite ones drops 1 item, it's on the belt, a second item, and then nothing happens. It needs all 4 dropped. And so I do that. Anyway, so I've got these, they're doing plates, gears, rods, and wires. Those are the 4 different things. There's more it can do. These are the 4 that I'm going to do over here. And then we come down here. This is the crusher. And again, the same sort of thing, chest with this, so it can do up to an entire stack of items dropped into the crusher at a time, because it can do a stack of items, really fast, which is good. I do like me a good demagnetization coil. This is the sawmill. Same process. When you drop a log here and it passes through this first piece, it strips the log, and then this cuts the log into 6 planks. And again, off it goes. This is very handy. And over here, sawdust comes out. And I just have a trash can because I don't care about the sawdust. And for power, I'm using my power ender gates because I can. That's just the way it's going to go. This is the industrial squeezer. And items come out here and fluids come out down there. All I needed to do was take coke dust. So if you hook up coke in here and then run it through the crusher, you get, instead of coke blocks, you get coke dust. 8 coke dust becomes an HOP. Let's go take a look at the quest. Let's go down to Immersive Engineering quest. So you take the crusher, you crush and you get the coke dust. 8 of those in the industrial squeezer gives you it's the HOP graphite dust, which you bake someplace, that gives you a rod or this ingot, and then you can convert that into or an electrode for use elsewhere. I probably won't use this for much. This here is the industrial fermenter, great for processing things like biodiesel fuel and other stuff that you'd want to ferment up. Probably won't use this for anything, but it's here. And all of these multi-block items are not in crossing the chunks. They're all within their own little chunk boundaries, because multi-block objects should always do so. This is the arc furnace. And this is the most involved of all the items. It's 5 by 5 by 5 tall. So it is quite involved. And this one, you can process ores and salvage things, and you can, because a lot of power with that one. Will I use that much? Probably not. This is the refinery, where you can sit there and put in one input and have it break it down into multiple other outputs. But right now, I don't care. So those are the items here. But what I do want to do is, like I said last time, I want to use these create chain pulleys to move stuff around. And I've got a windmill up here, and I'm hoping that's a good swoosh sort of effect as it's swirling around. Just because I couldn't go out very wide, and I didn't want it to go up really tall. So it's got kind of a swooshy effect there. And I've done this in FTOG colors with wool, but I was going, nope, lazy. I'm not going to do that for right now. Instead, I want to be able to send stuff around to the various items. There's only 8 of these that I'm really thinking I'm going to ever dump anything in. So these 4 metal presses, the crusher, the sawmill, the arc furnace, maybe, and make more steel over here with the blast furnace. So I set up these chains and to pull them around. If all of these things were the same height, life would be much, much easier. But I had to send something up higher here so that the blast furnace, this tall blast furnace, could work. And it needed to be a little higher over here for the arc furnace. These Frogports, they have a fairly narrow range. I think it's maybe 5 blocks. So you can't be too far, and they always have to be reaching up, or at least on the same level or up. You can't have a Frogport way up here trying to go down below it to grab. It just doesn't work that way. Anyway, so this is, I'm using several different things to manage all the stuff going around. This is going to be my output container. Let me grab these 2 Frogports and split them apart. All right, so these 4 options here and those 4 options there are the inputs that will send off to wherever I want to go. And to do that, I made these packagers that takes whatever in here, and it can do up to 9 stacks of stuff. Throw them into a package, and because I've got this sign here, this hanging sign, that labels where this needs to go. And so my Frogport up here, which is connected to one of these chains, I think it's connected to the opposite chain because it's going that direction. It will take whatever's in this packager with this address and send it off. So on the other side over here, I have a Frogport connected to the chain, and I gave it the name of the destination. In this case, this is a crusher. So I want the stuff to come here, and it's going to pull from, I think it pulls over on this side because it needed to be something that was, this was too low and that was working. So you can see kind of the aim of where it's going. That's where it's going to pull. This is the sawmill, and I renamed it here, and it's send and receive packages or send only. There is no receive only. So the ones with the names like sawmill or crusher, they don't send anything. They're only receiving. These ones, wires, rods, gears, plates, those also tell where things need to go. These guys, all the Franks, they don't care because they're only sending. In fact, if I look at them, they only say only send packages. The destination is set because of the packager with the sign on it. So here's the crusher, the sawmill, the arc furnace, and the blast furnace. Over here, we have wires, rods, gears, and plates. Now, when they are being packaged out of an inventory, they need a redstone signal. So I've got little these levers here that are doing that. All right, let's set up 2. I want this guy. This is the output. So it takes anything from the ender chest. All of these outputs that all these 8 machines make, they all go into the ender chest. And so I need to send this with a redstone signal telling it to do so. I want to send this via the Frogport to some sort of chain someplace, and it's going to go here. So what I need to do is right click on the chain, and it gives me that little green dot, and then I can put him here, and it says that that's a valid because it's green. If I go too far away, it's now red and it doesn't work. So that's okay. There's green. I think it's like 5 squares away. Anyway, we'll put him in there. This name doesn't matter, but because he's a send only, we'll call all the send only guys Franks. And he will take anything that comes in from the outputs and throw it on that chain. And this chain going, and that's where this guy is going to pick it up. So I could put it over here, but I'm going to do it closer to here. Let's go there and drop him there. Bloop. And this guy is going to be called output. And because of the name output, anything from here goes here. Yeah, that's a really short distance. I could put this anywhere. It really doesn't matter. But because I want the output to be fairly close to this, that way it has a much shorter destination to go. So let's grab a few things. That actually got combined. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, let's do this. First thing I want to do is I want to hammer out some plates. I go through a lot of plates. I also want some gears, so let's make some gears. I also want some rods, and I want some wires. You see how he just spit that on there? And then that's coming over here, where these guys are going to get grabbed. Yum. It's such a fun mechanism. I love it. And that guy grabs, and then this last guy is going to grab this last one. And then these get processed, and then they go into the here where this is taking them and throwing them onto that chain, and he picks it up. Gobble, 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 gobble. Now, because they're coming down in small numbers, you can see how they're coming in. But because the packaging can handle up to 9 stacks of stuff, I think it's possible that if 2 different things come in simultaneously, say we had plates and wires coming in at the same time, the packager for the output could put all those together and put them through. Anyway, so these plates, because they come in slow enough, they kind of come through one at a time. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that indeed. All right, let's take these guys here, and we will process them as well. So the crusher, I'm going to have an entire stack of cobblestone go into here, toss, and that will go past this direction. And then he's going to grab it from up there just because of the height. If I had raised it up an extra block, that would have made life easier. There we go. I just dumped it right in there. That will grind it. And yeah, now he's spitting out new cobble bits. Yeah, see, here's the gravel coming out from the cobble. All right, so there's that. This is the sawmill, so let's give it some spruce logs. And that will go... Out goes the spruce. It looks like it should get ground right there, but it doesn't. Here's where it's going to get grabbed. Yep. And then it spits these down. Why? Oh, my magnet is doing that. I need another one of these demagnetization coils to stop that. All right, that's a bad deal. Anyway, so that's processing through, and that will get put up there. And this seems to be fast enough to keep up with this. Otherwise, I was worried if I had faster chains going on, this might let something go through, in which case you'd have to cycle around and come back again. Not much fun, but you know, what can you do? Let's grab all of these extra bits and toss it in here. And then I need to back up. Yep, I grabbed 2 already. I will put that back into the sawmill piece and let that process that. I've got a little bit of hair on my mouse. One of the benefits of cats. So here's the spruce planks coming in. The arc furnace will decompose bits. So if I hit U on this, I can recycle it from the gear back into the bits. So let's go ahead and do that. And I'm also going to send 2 of these iron ingots off to the blast furnace so that they can get processed. And this blast furnace one is pointing to that chain. So it'll go up here and get snagged by the blast furnace, where the other one was pointing to this chain. So it'd cycle up over to there. They're fairly smart in grabbing stuff. And yeah, because of the distance, I had to be on this side. Doink. And then I just dropped in the iron ingots, and this will start processing them, which is grand. This guy has to circle around and then go up. And unfortunately, I couldn't get it to connect here. It was just too far. This one has to be. So it has to come around, go up, around, and down, and then it'll get snagged. Yeah, it's not quite a Rube Goldberg, but it's plenty fun. Should snag it. There it goes. And so there's it's processing that. That's really loud. I think that's thunder. Uh, Maybe it's those sounds. I'm not sure which. Why are you making so much noise? You're making a lot of noise. Maybe it's this one? No? I think that sounds like thunder to me. Yeah, that might be it. Anyway, are you done already? Oh, okay. So that did its thing, and that's already gets sent into here. And if we take a look, yep, I've got 32 nickel ingots. So this allows me to process through a bunch of stuff. Let me get from the crusher. I'm going to get some sand this time as it goes through, and a little bit of flint, but I don't care. But it's this concept of sending things around. I'd grab that there. Yeah, nom, nom, nom. This idea of sending things around on these chain pulleys, I really like it. I like it a lot. The reason why I go with this windmill up here, max size, is so there's plenty of stress units to push things around. These don't consume much, but they're definitely nice to have. And this is just kind of fun to move things around. Could I have all this stuff just go into the ender chest and I just pick that up? Yes. But then I wouldn't have the fun of watching these frogs slurp it around and toss it back and forth. And done. I took a drink and it was a little bit longer than I expected. But now I've got, there's all my sand plus a little bit of flint. So yay! This is fun. I'm thinking if I were starting a brand new world with this version of Create in it, I would definitely set up these chain conveyors to move about both me and items, just because I think that'd be so much fun. And then these Frogports as a way of pushing things through and around and telling what to do. Yeah. Do I need something like AE2 to sit there and push items places? Nope, no need. I've got this right here where I can use these Frogports with their names. As long as they're loaded within the area, it would work. It is something that, is this fast? No, it's not fast at all. You can see the chain, the way that it's moving here. It's not all that fast. However, it's lots of fun to set up. And unfortunately, because Create came late in the game, am I likely to use much of this? Wires, if I'm going to do stuff, plates and rods, maybe. I don't know much that I would use with gears, but yeah, I could certainly use this. I can certainly can. The main thing I'm looking at this is fun. I wanted to learn how to do these Frogports, and so that's something I really think. Starting early, go with Frogports. Go with these, with the packagers and Frogports, to send things around your base, and then you can have machines all over the place. I think that would be fantastic. Now, I could have, every place where I've got these ender chests, I could have another Frogport, have a packager there as the items come in, and then have another Frogport putting that onto the chain. All of them would have a sign that says output. So they would all come back to my standard output so that I could grab it. So if I needed to do, 20 stacks of cobble into gravel, I throw the 20 stacks in, they get sent off, they get processed, and they come back. It's what's not to like. It's fantastic. I think this is great. I just needed another demagnetization coil at my sawmill to stop my magnet from snagging things. I'm thinking this Create bit is my favorite. So, yes, I did much, if not all, of the immersive engineering, but I really don't think I'm going to go deep into it because I've already got processing that immersive engineering would do. This is kind of like the fourth create video of this series, just because I wanted to play with these Frogports and the packagers, and it's fun. Anyway, this has been Grok the Duck Farmer here, having a blast with Create here, playing Feed the Beast Evolution on the FTOG server, and the server's still going, and you can jump on it. And thanks for watching.